Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooted in Gold podcast, episode 1. I'm your host, Mother Gold, and I'm here with.
Trina, the style consultant.
Okay, thank you so much for joining. And Trina, the style consultant, is a. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am a style consultant specializing in all things beauty, health, wellness, lifestyle. Um, it is my heart's desire to make sure that we show up looking the part inside and out, no matter where we are, no matter what stage of life.
That's beautiful. So, what inspired you to get into the world of style and wardrobe curation?
It kind of happened naturally. As I said, I've been in the beauty industry for about 3 decades. I started out as a manicurist and esthetician
Hmm.
and stepped into retail, having a heart to serve women
Hmm.
in all areas of life. The next phase was a boutique. Spicy Boutique was the name of my boutique, and I specialized in curvy women, size 16 and up, believing that every woman deserved to look amazing all the time.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where the style part of my business started.
Okay. And who or what influenced your sense of style growing up?
It's hard to say. I've always had a passion
Hmm.
for a passion and an intuition of nice things. Sometimes things that are a little bit elevated. So, as a young person, I can't say that there was one person. I've just always liked what I like.
Hmm. And did your career start off with formal training and getting certifications, or how did you start being able
Um,
to do this?
Initially, as a manicurist, you have to be licensed in the state of Ohio. So that is
Hmm.
where it started.
Okay.
Um, Beauty school, became a manicurist, and a couple of years later, wanted to become an esthetician. At the time in the early 90s, there wasn't many black estheticians.
Right.
So I just felt as if it was just a great next step. So
Okay.
yes, I had to be certified or licensed to become a nail tech and an esthetician.
Hmm.
Permanent makeup is a certification. Um, it isn't governed by the Ohio Department of Cosmetology, but there's certifications for permanent makeup as well.
And how was the schooling like? What was the schooling like when you were getting your certifications?
Um, it is really geared towards equipping you to pass the state board test. Unfortunately, at that time, there wasn't a lot of business training, but the state board test, you passed it, you were well on your way. It's a hands on job for the most part.
Hmm.
You learn as you go, but it's exciting.
Would you say it was hard or intense?
No, not really. I
Okay.
think that I am naturally uh, able to pick up a lot of beauty and retail. It's just a passion of mine. I like the baseline, the necessities of what it takes to be healthy and well. And so,
Hmm.
say for instance, healthy cuticles, extremely important. So to learn or to desire to learn to cut a cuticle where it's pretty without any oil or um, moisturizer
Hmm.
is just something that is in me. It kind of came natural. Someone suggested beauty school to me. I never even really thought about it myself, but they watched me growing up and knew that I had a an eye for it, and so I accepted the challenge. And 30 years later, I'm still licensed.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank God for that person.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so what does a typical work day look like for you?
My day starts with some stillness, a cup of coffee.
Mhm.
I set my coffee maker at night so that when I get up, my coffee is ready. And I sit and spend some time with the Lord. It could be reading, it could be prayer, or just quietness.
Mhm.
That is how I start my day every day. And then I get moving, and typically in my mind, I'm thinking about what am I going to wear? How am I going to show up for the day? Most times I don't have any idea till I'm in the shower. Um, and then it's off to the races. It could be a client session, virtual or in person. It could be a discovery call, getting to know a client. It could be an actual in person wardrobe edit. It could be sending images and digital curated pieces to a client.
Mhm.
That's kind of what my day can consist of.
Mhm.
Um, it's just kind of, whatever is needed to take care of my clients. I also have a daytime gig that is about serving others. So it's just what I do.
Okay. And can you walk me through what happens in a wardrobe audit?
A wardrobe audit, I go piece by piece. And I
Mhm.
have clients most times try things on. A lot of times there's 80% of our closet that we don't even touch.
Mhm.
So we spend time piece by piece discovering what you love, what for some odd reason while you're purchasing something that doesn't really speak to you or doesn't serve you, um, piece at a time. She may try to brush by a couple of pieces, and I'm like, oh no, what's that? Why are you brushing past that? And let's talk
Mhm.
about it. Let's take it off the hanger. Let's put it on and tell me how you feel. So that's closet audit. We go piece by piece. Clothing, shoes, handbags, lingerie, workout, everything,
Mhm.
outerwear, piece by piece. And we talk about, is it currently serving you in this season of your life?
Okay. And so for this next question, I would have to ask this first. Do you guys sometimes focus on clothing trends and what's popular right now?
Not really.
Okay.
I am in my 50s, and so I really encourage clients to build a long term wardrobe.
Mhm.
Trends come and go, and they kind of may fit someone else and they may not fit you. So,
Right.
trends, I don't let trends guide curating a wardrobe. Curating a wardrobe is really based off of the individual because everyone's style is different. And that's
Right.
basically what style is. How are you wanting to express yourself? So you
Okay.
can kind of sprinkle some trends in there a little bit, which is good. But the base of a good wardrobe is your personal style.
Okay. And so, what's the most common mistake you see people making with their wardrobes?
Holding on to pieces that no longer reflect who they are today.
Mm.
It's kind of what we might say or call emotional clutter.
Mhm.
It's just taking up space. And that is something that we talk about. Is there some emotion behind this shirt? You have 10 of them. You don't care for any of them.
Right.
That's emotional clutter. Let's talk about why you continue to buy this particular shirt. So
Okay.
I would say a common mistake is holding on to pieces that no longer serve
And
where they are today.
and you see style and fashion as like an art, do you?
Yes. Yes,
That's beautiful.
absolutely.
That's beautiful. I've never heard anyone explain it that way.
Yes, I mean because it's personal,
Yeah,
it is how one expresses themselves when you're all by yourself.
absolutely.
What's really going on inside. So you would think of a painting and colors, and someone may say, "Oh, I love every color in the rainbow," and then someone
Mhm.
say, "I only do gray, white, and black."
Right.
And so you can do amazing art with gray, white, and black as well as every color in the rainbow.
Mhm. And speaking of you saying that some people have emotional clutter, how do you deal or how do you handle clients who are resistant to letting go of certain clothing items?
With a lot of compassion,
Mhm.
um, because you never know why it's there.
Right.
So I take time to figure out what it is that is drawing you there. It's a delicate situation. I can't just say, "Oh my goodness, you need to get rid of that. It doesn't serve you."
Mhm.
I have to handle it with sugar and honey, kindness. I have to be
Mhm.
respectful of your feelings and where you are,
Mhm.
and work through, a lot of questions. A lot of times clients don't know. I had a client yesterday that sent me a picture of her in a pair of pants, and she says, "I don't like these. I'm going to give them away."
Mhm.
And so I asked her, "What is it that you don't like about these?" And her response, she and I have worked together for a while, so she kind of understands.
Mhm.
"I need to think about that and I'll let you know later." Because you should be able to say exactly what it is that you don't like and why you don't like it. And
Mhm.
sometimes that takes time.
That actually reminds me of something similar that happened to me. When I was in middle school, I was going through a really hard time and I would wear my favorite pair of pants all the time. They were sweatpants. And then we moved and I went into high school and I was in a much better headspace and I had a lot of friends, but then I wore those pants again and it just reminded me of the hard times I went through, so I threw them out.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
never knew that clothing could have that effect on me before until that happened.
So that's a perfect example that once you moved into another phase in your life, those pants no longer really served you the way that they did before.
Right. Okay. And so, what's your favorite success story of helping someone transform their look?
Most recently, I had a woman who had been wearing the wrong size shoe. We
Mhm.
started out the discovery call, and from the discovery call, we scheduled a shopping session. We go to shop for shoes. I always ask, prior to, so that I'm prepared when the client arrives. I had several shoes set out or pulled, and she said, "I'm an 8.5, 9."
Mhm.
And so I pulled all these shoes, an easy 10 pair, 8.5, 9, and none of them worked. We realized that she's a size 8 and she's
Mhm.
narrow, so that was major for her to discover
Mhm.
her correct size and to know that she's narrow. And so when shopping for shoes, if it's a wide shoe, it's an easy no. So that was a major win.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And so, how do you define personal style?
Personal style is what makes you happy inside. As I said before, it's different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I could say accessories make me happy
Mm.
inside. So that would help define my personal style. That would be shoes, handbags, jewelry. Those things defined my look. I wear glasses every day, so that's another pair of accessories.
Mm-hmm.
And that when people see me, they typically know I got a pair of glasses. They could be sunglasses or they can be regular glasses, but that's something that defines my style. So it's personal. It's what makes you happy. Someone may be in love with sweatshirts.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be how we define their style with sweatshirts. Someone may love sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
So we build on that. It's different for everybody.
And in what ways do you think style choices can impact a person's career or personal life?
When we look good, we feel good.
Mm,
I used to
that's
work
true.
for American Cancer Society with their Look Good, Feel Good program. And we encouraged women that were going through treatment to at least put on some lip gloss
Mm-hmm.
or at least some lipstick. If you had to have your head wrapped, let it be a pretty head wrap.
Mm-hmm.
When you look good, you feel good. Even though going through cancer treatment, I can imagine how
Right.
one would feel, but just to walk past a mirror and see yourself somewhat presentable,
Mm-hmm.
may make you smile. It also makes those around you smile. We encourage them to show up a little bit better for their caregivers, for their families.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sitting on the couch and you feel a mess and you look a mess and everybody around you, that's going to be the energy in the space. That's
Mm-hmm.
what the vibe is. But if you're sitting on the couch and you have on a cute little outfit, and even if your head is wrapped, your head wrap is beautiful. Um, it makes those around you smile. We feel each other, whether we believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important.
I absolutely love what you do. I did not know how deep and spiritual really fashion could be. I had no clue.
Most people don't.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's more than just slapping some clothes on. And that's typically what we do day to day. We'll
for
put on
sure.
anything just to prevent going outside naked.
Yeah,
We got to put on something, so let me put on something,
right,
But does that something add something to me?
right. Okay, so for these next three questions, the interview is kind of coming to a close. So there are four more questions. So these three are going to focus a little bit on the business and industry. So, how has social media changed the way you approach styling?
It has allowed me to reach beyond my borders. I love being at home.
Mm-hmm.
I have taken the time to make sure that my home is my sanctuary. Social media allows me to reach out to people even in my sanctuary so I can have those relationships and those connections, and authentically be myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the blessing of social media.
Yes, it is. And what challenges do you face running a business in this field?
Educating clients to really look at style in a personal way and not in a vanity way or not in a way to show up for others. That's like a benefit or a bonus of showing up great for yourself. To
Mm-hmm.
know that style consulting, it is me encouraging people to be better.
Right.
And a lot of times we would prefer, it's easier to just go with the flow, the norm, and what
Mm-hmm.
everyone else is doing, those trendy things, but educating a client on their style, their body shape,
Mm-hmm.
their lifestyle. You know, you'll look at an influencer and everything looks amazing.
Right.
Her house is not your house. She's worked hard for her house to look that way. That may not even be, what the day of her house is.
Mm-hmm.
She could, get a camera ready and it might just be one corner and then the rest of the house could look like a tornado hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenge is to get people to really, really look at themselves and to know you're not me, I'm not you, and how I do it may not be how you do it. Let's figure
Absolutely.
out your flow and
Yeah.
what works specifically for you.
Okay. And do you see wardrobe curation as a luxury, a necessity, or something in between?
Um, Initially, it is a necessity
Okay.
and it could be elevated by luxury. And
Mm,
luxury is different, just like style. Luxury um, for someone may be an amazing pair of slippers to wear around the house. To somebody else, luxury may be an expensive handbag.
mm-hmm.
But the intentional part of it is definitely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And as life evolves, we can enjoy the luxury of sitting at home alone
Mm-hmm.
and enjoying whatever, or
Okay.
out and about showing up amazing.
Mm.
So it's a little both luxury and a
Yeah,
necessity.
I would say so too. So, this is the last question. I am asking for you to let the audience into your golden mind. What's the one piece of gold you want everyone to walk away with? This could be spiritual advice, this could be fashion advice, this could be anything.
My one nugget would probably be simplify.
Mhm.
I think that we have way too much, which makes life a whole lot more difficult. Um, I think it's better to have three beautiful pieces that you absolutely love than to have 10 that you don't.
Right.
Let go of what no longer reflects who you are now. Update your home, update your closet, and even your mindset. I am not the same woman that I was 30 years ago prior to this,
Mhm.
even though I was a whole lot younger. I'm not the same woman that I was 10, 15 years ago. We change. And so we have to be able to let go, keep it simple, fall in love with what we love,
Mhm.
clear the noise, you know, let the silence speak. That sometimes I say when you walk into a room, you're speaking before you even say anything.
Mm.
So embrace the quietness, um, and your true, authentic self will come out.
And that actually, I'm sorry, that just gave me one more question. Have you ever thought about branching out into home decoration decor, or do you do that?
I am in a space of home organization. So
Mhm.
the same thing that I do for closets and clothes, I do for homes.
Okay.
If you want to update your living space, you've had the same curtains for 20 years.
Mhm.
It's probably time to change them. Your
Yeah.
furniture has never been moved around.
Mhm.
It's probably time to, shift some things around. Turn a table here, add a table there. That is when I speak about lifestyle, how we move in our house is no different than how we move in our closet or how we move in our clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So I am kind of in that space. Decor, organization, yes, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm willing to do it all. I really, really love organizing spaces.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I will put your website link in the description of the video if you would like.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you.
You have been a wonderful interviewee. Thank you so much for joining my podcast for the very first episode.
Thank you for the
Of
invite.
course. And hope to see you soon. Hope to speak to you more. Thank you for coming. And that's all I have.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye bye.